Hi, this is Erica from Soul Spark Let's Art, and we are on day 3 of our 7 days of artsy gifts for artsy kids. So today we're going to talk about the youngins. We're talking about the littles in your life, these elementary school kids who are just learning and loving everything about art and want to dip their hands in everything. So obviously there's tons of options, but let's get started with some cool ones. So for your young kids, we're going to be looking at things like metallics. Metallics can come in marker form and paint form, but they're such a cool thing to have on hand, especially when you're doing these like history projects or things where you want to add a little bronze or gold. Sometimes yellow really doesn't cut it, and you really want something to pop. So any type of a metallic is a really cool thing to add to their collection. Something else that I have been loving is quick sticks. So quick sticks are like tempera paint sticks. They come in different sizes, and it's like a crayon, but it's so pigmented. It comes out so very cool. I believe they're water soluble, so you can add water to them and create different effects with them. Very, very cool thing to have that I never heard of when I was a kid. Something else to think about, of course, your usual construction paper, drawing papers, thick, nice sulfate papers, things that are going to be able to hold their color. Maybe they're going to add some paint to it, something that's going to be able to hold the supplies that they use, right? And if we're talking about crayons, another consumable item, so it's always great to get more, think outside the box with those crayons too. So maybe you're going to get them a pack of skin toned crayons, because sometimes it's really hard to find that color that you're looking for, and then they're mixing and matching and things come out a little unnatural and our little artists get frustrated. So having a full box of skin toned crayons is like perfect for our little artists. What else? Oh, anything neon, especially if you've got a black light that can make it glow in the dark a little bit. That's a really, really cool pop to add to any art project. We're also going to be talking about clay. Clay is such a fun tool or fun supply for kids to play with. Get the tools for it as well, and it makes it twice as much fun. My kiddos absolutely love to sit there and dig and twist and form any type of air dry clay, modeling clay, even Play-Doh with my really young guy. He loves to use the clay tools on his Play-Doh. Also on his kinetic sand, go figure. What else? Oh, watercolor palettes, of course, but don't just get the regular old watercolor palettes. Get something neon or pastel or outside of the box, something that they don't already have. Most kids have that little 8-pack of Crayola watercolors, and that's wonderful, and it's really a great thing to start off with. But I've had kids show up to my art class with these giant watercolor palettes of all different colors of pastels and just all the in-betweens that really, really get the other kids looking over at their supplies. So that's a great thing to have. What else? Oh, stamp sets. Stamp sets and ink pads are such a fun addition to any art closet. Stamps are really fun to play with for anyone, young and old, but young kids especially, because they can stamp something and then they can go back and color it in, and it's fun. Something else to think about for your crayon kids is a crayon sharpener. Sometimes people don't have those on hand, and when you dull out a crayon, it really doesn't do its job, does it? So getting a kiddo a crayon sharpener to have on hand can make all the difference in their artsy little world. That brings me to markers. So yes, you can get the regular Crayola 8-pack of markers, but why not take it a step further and get them a box of dual-tipped alcohol markers that are going to really last a long time, have different size tips for them to play with, and just really pop on the page and come in so many more colors and just give them a lot more options to play with. So while we're talking about crayons, here's one that's gonna knock your socks off. Construction paper crayons. Half of us haven't even heard of them, but oh my goodness, they will knock your socks off. Miss Julie actually did a video on these, and I just can't believe the difference in pigment between a regular crayon and a construction paper crayon. It shows up on those dark colors, makes a huge difference for these little kiddos, so they're not getting frustrated during art time, and they can use those colors that they want to use for their background and still get that beautiful picture when they're creating. Something else to think about is glue. Oh, glue. Talk about consumable, especially if you've got a younger kiddo, because we all know that they like to use a lot of glue. So liquid glue or glue sticks, that's a great item to add to a little art basket. If you're doing stocking stuffers for your artsy kids, glue is always appreciated, especially if you've got a kiddo who likes slime, because I have learned that glue is an endless supply. If you've got a slime kid, you always need more glue, giant tubs of glue. And if you've got a slime kid, get any type of beads or glitters or things that they can add to their slime to make it more texturized and just give it a little bit more fun. Something else to think about if you have a little perfectionist on your hands especially is anything erasable, which means not just pencils, but colored pencils come in erasable, and even markers you can get, erasable markers. Who knew? We actually have some of those and a lot of this other stuff in our Amazon holiday wish list. So check out the Soul Sparklettes holiday wish list. We've put a lot of this stuff in there for you to make your life a little easier.